Hi everyone, it's me again, and if I'm here, it must be Sunday night. My name's Jill Lancet and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in beautiful downtown Greystanes, which is a Sydney suburb of New South Wales. Now I've got a bit of a mixed bag for you today, but it's all around one kind of main focus on a stamp set. I bought this ages ago, and shame on me, I haven't used it. Oh dear, there's like a whole box full of them over there. But nevertheless, I have it on good authority that some of these items that I will be using tonight will be retiring. Gone ski. Gone forever. Very, very soon. So if you like them, I suggest you jump straight over to my online store and put them on your wish list or buy them straight out, because the retiring list has been posted and people are kind of like, you know, they are now until stocks last. So if they're gone, they're gone. So if you want a copy of those, the annual catalogue and the mini catalogue, the retiring list, please request it at my email address right there. I was looking to see if I could put it onto my online store, but I couldn't see. You know, I'm a techno dinosaur, okay? So I make no apologies for that, because that's the time frame I was born. But anyway, so I'm going to show you some of the cards we're going to make. Well, yeah, two of the cards we're going to make. And one of them I've already made, but I'm not making it again, but I just will explain it. This is the one I've already made, and I will explain how I did that as we go along. I'll pop that one over there so I don't forget, because that's another thing that us dinosaurs do. Now the other one is this little simple little thanks card, thank you card. So I've used a couple of different stamp sets. I'm going to go through those with you. But isn't that Goose just the cutest? This is minimal colouring and very easy once I show you how to achieve that. White is a notoriously difficult thing to colour. So I'm going to give you the skinny on that. And I'm giving you three different ways to do that. So I'll just run through the products that we're using. I'm using my stamping platform because it's just so much easier, okay? So a few of the things that we're going to be using are here in this annual catalogue. Hang on, I've got my coffee. We don't want that. We don't want anything to happen to the coffee. Doesn't matter about anything else. But we are going to use a couple of stamps from this beautiful balloon set, which is on page 15 in the current annual catalogue. So we're going to use this confetti balloon. We're going to use Yay You and You Did It. So I'm mixing and matching for the particular occasions that I want. I'm picking and choosing stamps from different stamp sets. So that's that one. The next one we are going to use is just this Thank You for Everything from the Colour and Contour. Now, I haven't got the list in front of me, but I can tell you that some of these are definitely on the endangered list. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is one. I'm pretty sure the balloon one is one. The Sentimental Park, watch out for my coffee, which is currently on page 36 of the annual catalogue, and I'm using 4. And what else? All the Wonderful Things You Do, just like the Wizard of Oz. And the last one, of course, is the Silly Goose stamp set, which is on page 51. Now this one will disappear as well, okay? But it's so cute. And yeah, anyway, we're using also some other things. We're using the beautiful Painted Textures 3D embossing folder, one of my absolute favorites. It's leaving us. I'm very sad about that. And these dies, the Deckled Rectangles. Now, I'm not sure about those, but the Deckled Rectangles are on page 163, and the embossing folder is on page 169. But you'll see them as we go along. And I have done a bit of this and that just to make this a bit faster, okay? So this card here I have already made. I won't be making this again. This was some retired in colours. This is the Starry Sky, and this is the Sweet Sorbet. I've simply stamped him on my little panel, and then I have fussy cut out a mask. Now, I don't need to mask off the string, so I've just popped this over the top of him, just like that. Now, when you cut out a mask like this, try and go very close to the inside of that black outline, okay? That's what you need to do. So I put that over there. I put this one, the balloon one, over the balloon. The string one is not necessary. Then I have taken a post-it note, and I'm going to show you what I did. I took a post-it note and I just simply tore it to create the hill in the background. Now I've got a bit of sticky on this side and a bit of sticky on that side. So I popped this over where I wanted the sky, and with Azure Afternoon, the pale blue. Well, it's not pale, it's like a bright teal. I used my blending brush, made it darker at the bottom, and then I removed this piece and I replaced it with this piece. I then put this piece over where I have just done the blue, and I did it with some old olive. I just did it from the bottom up, and when you take it off you can see the two colours meet. You then peel this off, and your little ducky, Goose, whatever he is perfectly white, and you can begin colouring. You can colour him first if you want to. Doesn't really matter which way you go, okay? But I'm going to show you how I did this one. Now, I believe this one was done with pencil, but I will explain it. So I'll show you again at the end. I'll show you all of them at the end. So that's how you make a mask. Now, don't throw that away. That's going straight in here, because if I want to make it again, I've got masks. Now, here's a little trick. I used a post-it note. I used about 4 layers of post-it notes. I peeled them all off at the same time. They were all stuck together. I stamped it and I cut it out once. That gives me a few masks. So I've used one. I've got a couple more there. So that's just another handy dandy little tip that you might think is useful. So we'll go straight into this now. This second card I have not made at all, but I am going to show you how I've created it. So all of these bits and pieces belong with it. So let's get these things out of the way. I'm also featuring the watercolour pencils. Okay, so I've got all my bits and pieces here. Now, I have a piece of Pebbled Path in here, and I lost my mat. Well, I haven't lost it. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. So I've just popped a piece of fun foam in there for the minute, because this is a photopolymer stamp and it needs a bit of raising up because they're not as deep as the red rubber. That's a long story. I've also put my little Deckled Rectangle just so I can see where this is going to stamp. Okay, so it doesn't matter if that's there. That's how I set it up. Okay, I popped that there, I placed the stamps, and then I left it there. But you don't need to know that. So I've got my magnet I'm going to pop that there. I'm just going to stamp yay. Yay you. That's what it says. Yay you. Because these two little geese are having a little moment. They're having a little fist bump moment. And I didn't think there was a message that I wanted to say in there. That's why I've taken these from different stamp sets. So if you have a stamp positioner, you can stamp this and make sure it comes out. So I've stamped yay you. Now I've taken the mat out because now I'm putting my red rubber stamp. And I'm going to ink that up with the same black, okay? It's just our tuxedo, Memento Tuxedo Black. And I want to give this a really good ink. Now, if that does not stamp, I can do it again. I've got my cardstock up in the corner here. I have the magnet holding it, and I'm going to just pop that down, give it a bit of even pressure, and just a couple of seconds for the ink to connect with the paper, okay? So let's see how we've gone. Okay, their little beaks look like they could use another coating, so we'll give it all another coat. Is that what you say? Coat? Another coat of ink? I guess so. Anyway, there we go. Let's have a look. Oh, beautiful. So that's this card that we're going to make now. You do not have a preview of this because I'm making it in real time. So I'm just going to pop that out because I have another one I'm going to make with that in a minute. So I've got my little piece of pebbled path, and I'm going to die cut this out before I colour it because, yep, I don't want anything to happen to this. If I've spent 15 minutes colouring it, I don't want anything to happen to it. So that looks pretty straight to me. So I'm going to just pop an extra little bit of tape on there because a couple of these are not that sticky anymore. Now I'm going to just run this through my die cutting machine. It's an electric machine. It's just over to the side and it will only take a second. So just bear with me. Just bear with me while I do this. Thank you. I won't be a tick. Just talk amongst yourselves. Okay. And there it is. And look how beautiful it cuts. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this piece I want to glue onto my card base. That's why I did that in the center. So we'll get to that in a minute. But I want to show you how I colored our two little geese pals in white. So I'm just using the watercolor pencil and I'm just going to go in little circles and color these in white. So this is one way to achieve white, especially on a darker background. Now, oh, let me put this light on. Maybe that might help. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. There we go. That might help. So I'm going to just color this in white because geese are white. I'm not going to shade these at all, the actual geese themselves. I'm simply coloring them. Now I find colouring very, very relaxing. I don't know about you guys, but I do find this a very relaxing thing. Now this is all I'm going to do. These are watercolour pencils. These are our watercolour pencils. And Normally you would add water to them, but I'm not. I'm just colouring straight on with them. And you'll see what a great effect this has, especially on this dark pebbled path cardstock. Yeah, I'm trying to be really quick as well with this. There we go. And just colour his little hand in. Hand, wing, whatever it is. You do realise that I can't talk and do other things at the same time. I'm sure you do. Dear oh dear. So there's one of our little guys. And now I'm going to do the second one. Now, don't have your pencil so sharp, okay? You don't want it so sharp because that actually sort of, I don't know, it sort of, not gouges, but, you know, it does create scratches in the surface as you're colouring. So, yeah, you do want it a little bit of a softer point, a blunter point. And we're nearly finished, these two guys. Now you can go over it to a certain degree. It's not going to cover it like multiple times, but you can sort of go over it a little bit. So if you've missed a spot, like under here, maybe you might have missed a spot, you can go over it again. And that's the two geese. That's their body. That's their body done. Now I'm taking the pumpkin pie one, and the only other colour on here is going to be their beaks. And you wouldn't think that this would show up on this cardstock, but it does. So I'm going to do his beaks, their beaks and their feet. The beaks and their feet. And you know, it does not have to be perfect. This is a handmade card. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so now to put this card together, I'm going to take, I've already done a little bit of stamping. Okay, I have my card base here. This is the balloon stamp from, it's just like confetti. And one of the greetings, the other greeting is on the front there. Now what I want to do is I want to stamp the balloon all the way around the edge, just to take the plainness away from the pumpkin pie. And I'm stamping it in pumpkin pie. Where's the pumpkin pie gone? Here it is. So I'm stamping it tone on tone, which ties in with the inside of the card. And yeah, so I'm just going to go right around the edge. It is going to be covered up to a certain degree, so yep. And it doesn't matter if it overlaps, but yeah, who said this has to be a balloon? Not I. There we go. Now I did stamp it off when I stamped it on the inside, so it wasn't such a strong colour. So yeah. And you'll see how this does kind of lift it a little bit. I'll show you on the back what it looks like plain, and than how I've stamped it. Now I have got a coffee here, and I might avail myself of that. So our little guy is going to go, our little guys are going on here on this piece of patterned paper. All of the details will be in the description, and then they're going to be on there like that. So you can see how that just lifts that. If I wanted it to be plain, you could leave it plain, but I think the actual stamping does add something to it. So now we can pop this card together, and yeah. So make sure you've got it opening the right way. Where is my glue? Oh, here it is. Oh gosh, I thought, how could you lose that? Okay, so a little bit of glue, not a lot. You don't need a terrible lot. So this is the piece I have cut out. Remember, we're using that too, we're utilising it. Nothing is wasted today. So that's going on the front of the card. Then we're going to pop this on. Well, I'm just going to glue this straight down. Just going to glue this straight down. And it's going to cover up that hole. Nobody's going to even know that was there. Now this is mat 1. I think this might be mat 3. I'm not sure. I will put the details in the description. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about the templates that are available free. If you request them to my email address, I will send the PDF. And if you are in the US, there are the US sizes. If you use metric, there are the metric sizes. So if I say mat 1, it's mat 1 in both countries, both paper sizes, and your card will be balanced, okay? Now, I did do a video, if you scroll back, I did a video on how to use those templates, and that is very, very useful. So now I'm going to glue these little guys onto our patterned piece. Now, this is from the, oh, I didn't put this one down. I'll put it down in the description. Oh, I don't want to glue that to that. Always glue your smaller piece to your bigger piece. That way you're going to get the glue in the right spot, okay? Just a little bit of glue. Oops, hop back on there, mister. Right. Now this is effectively card 2. While I didn't make card 1, I did explain how it was going to be made. So now I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals, and that's our card done. And it's quite simple. There's not a lot to it. A few layers, and that's about all. But, you know, sometimes you just want to kind of say congratulations. In a kind of a fun way. So now look, if you don't have a take your pick tool, which quite often I do not have mine handy, you can just squish that down with your fingernail and it lifts the sides up. So that is, you know, that's a good alternative, isn't it? It just kind of lifts them up and you can easily grab them off. Yep. This is how I used to do them before I had a take your pick tool. Before I kept losing it. But there you go. Look, that's done. There you go. So now we'll pop this on the front of our card. And I hope that's even. I haven't got my head over it. I'm sorry. That looks about right. And there we go. Yay, you. You did it. Whatever they did. Fist bump. So that's card number 2. I'm going to pop that over there. And we're going to carry on to card number 3. Now, this is a very simple thank you card. Now, I know that some of these are going to be retired. So, yeah, you want to get sort of like, you want to get straight into them. This is my favourite embossing folder. And I'm going to miss this terribly because I've used it so many different ways. I have, hang on, I'm stuck. Hang on, I'm a bit stuck. I have run an ink pad over it. I've run an embossing ink pad over that and then embossed it. So many different ways I have used that particular ink pad. Now, here is our card base. Here is our lovely piece of Balmy Blue. And look, I just want to show you the texture on that. I hope you can see that. This is the reverse side, which is just as lovely. But, yeah, look at that. I hope that does it justice. So I've got this little piece. Are these the pieces I want? Yes, these are the other pieces I want. And I want to stamp the thank you for everything, or thanks for everything, if I can find it. Where is it? Hold your horses, honey. Oh, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Goodness me. If you could, no, I won't describe this desk because it's too embarrassing. I'm sure you can see some of the peripheral things, but I just had this thing 5 minutes ago. What did I do with it? Gosh, 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 gosh. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Stop looking. I found it. Stop looking. I found it. So I'm using the stamping tool again. This is the Stamparatus from Stampin' Up that has been retired, much to my absolute sadness, because it's probably one of the best stamping tools I've ever come across on the market, and it is now no longer. I hope they can come up with a suitable replacement. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to be sad. Let's not be sad. So you'll notice there's no foam in there. And I'm just going to ink this up with our Memento Black again. Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm just going to move that little magnet because it was facing the wrong way. So it's pushed into the corner. And this is basically how most of the stamping tools work. You have a door of some description and you can ink your stamp up on the door and then just lay it down, and provided your paper is in exactly the same place, you will get a perfect image, and you can do it over and over again. So now I'm going to turn this around, take this out, put my little piece of foam back in there, pop that back in the corner, because now I have some photopolymer stamps and they don't need the matte. I mean, they do need the matte, yeah. Oh gosh, what am I saying? I think I better have some of this coffee before I totally, what's the word I'm looking for? Drain the brain. Well, that looks pretty good. I didn't even have to do it a second time. I'm happy with that. That's beautiful. That's what's going to be in there. Let's just put some paper in there so I don't make a mess. So now I'm going to show you how I coloured this little one in. And all I did was totally use the blends, okay? Now the first one I used pencils and I just coloured straight on, straight strength of pencil. But we were colouring on a darker background, so that's why that looked so good. This guy I'm going to use the blends. Now I'm going to do the Goose in, I'm doing it in grey granite. It's a warm grey. I think Pebbled Path might be similar. Sorry, I had to have a mouthful. But this is what I do, okay? Now, I mean, I could be doing it wrong for all I know. For all I know, I could be doing it wrong. So all I'm going to do is just shade. This is shading, okay? So I'm going under his neck, and I'm just doing like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing around here, okay? So his little feathers would be darker on the bottom, okay? Here it would be darker where the sign is, and you might have a bit of shading somewhere. So we're going to do that as well. But what you need to do is sort of envisage where shadow would be falling. Now it's definitely going to fall under here. Definitely going to fall under there. And it's definitely going to fall around here. We want him to look rounded. So I'm just going around the outline of that. Now this is the light grey granite, okay? So what I decided to do was kind of just go up a little bit, like to make it look like there's a bit of a chest there or something. And go over it a couple of times, especially around the darkest areas. And then just go very, very lightly towards the middle there. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do, okay? So if you can have a look there, you can see what I've done. I hope I'm in focus. I hope you can see that. So now I'm taking the colour lifter. Now there's two ends on the colour lifter, and the colour lifter is clear. And all it does is sort of blends it. If you make a mistake, you can actually lift colour. But I'm just going to start away from where I've coloured, and I'm just going to go in with little circles. So I'm just sort of, and now I'll hold that up and you can see what it's done. I hope you can see what it's done. So it's blended that in a little bit. It's made it a little bit lighter there. So now I'm going to just do the same thing with these areas here. It just takes away that harsh line. And can't colour and talk at the same time, sorry. Now with this area here, I want to start from the middle and work my way back, okay? So I'm starting in the middle where I kind of left that whitish area, and I'm just doing little circles all the way around. Now I will hold this up in a second, okay? Now this one's just about run out. I do have another one. It's packed away, so I'm hoping I can get through this with just this. I might try the big brush end. Let's have a look. Let's see. So I'm just kind of smoothing it over there. It is lifting it. It kind of just fades it. And I'll hold this up and show you. So his body is under the shadow of the banner. So I hope that's giving that illusion. And if I wanted to, once that's dry, I can go in again with the colour lifter, which I probably will. But then I just did, where did I put it? Where did I put it? I just used the dark pumpkin pie for his beak and his feet. And the blends are so vibrant. Just this pop of orange just really lifts this little goose. And then I did the banner. Now to do the banner, I did it as if it was curving, and that's very easy to achieve. I just used the light blueberry bushel, and I just came from the edges, went around his little fingers, and did the same thing on this side. Just like that. And then I have taken the dark balmy blue, and I have gone over the blueberry bushel, and I've just sort of pulled the colour just towards the middle there. And this is called like feathering. And I'm just doing it just in strokes. And you'll see how it's eventually blending that in. So I'm going to go in a bit further with the darker balmy blue. And then I'm going to do it the same thing on this side. So I'm just pulling that. So what it does is it pulls a little bit of the colour out, but where you start, it also kind of knocks the colour back a bit. So you'll eventually get a bit in the middle where the two colours kind of fade into one another. Now this might take a little bit of practice for you, but yeah. Now I'm going to hold that up and show you. Now I hope you can see that. I really hope you can see that. So now I'm going over with the light balmy blue, and I'm just going to do the bits in the middle. So I'm going to start where the dark balmy blue is and pull that across, and then do it from this side as well, and meet them up in the middle. And you can see there's a bit of a line there. Well, if you just keep doing that, it eventually blends it out. That's why they call them blends, folks. And there you go. Look at that. I think he's cute. Okay, so that's that. Then I got the light grey granite, and using the brush tip, I just went like, just made a bit of ground for him to be standing on. You don't want him floating in midair. And he's holding the banner, so yep. Now that will fade out. They do fade out as they get as they dry. Now I'm just going to show you how I can go back in and take out some more colour. So I'm just going to start in the middle, which is where I want the colour to be further removed, and we'll see how that looks in a couple of minutes. Done. Done and done. Okay, so now we can put this one together. Here they all are. Here they all are. So we're going to glue the embossed piece. Oh, we need to stamp inside. What did I do with that? Where's that stamp? Come on. I just had it. We may have to forego that stamp because here it is. Stop panicking. Stop panicking. I found it. I found it. Gosh. in the Tuxedo Black again. And this is a really lovely stamp. I love this one because it's really fine, a really fine font, and it just looks so good. So I'm just going to say thank you for everything. Now I hope that's in the middle. I'm not right over the top of it, but I hope that's in the middle. Oops. Thank you for everything. That's it. That's done. It's done or it's not done. There you go. Look, it's beautiful. So now we can make this. I'm just going to glue this straight onto here. I hope I'm not bumping that camera. I feel like I might have bumped that a couple of times. I'm sorry if I did. Right, so that's going on there. Just like that. Now, hang on. I'm just got to have another bit of coffee. And I just pop that out of the way. Cheers, everybody. Now, speaking of coffee, it would be lovely if all of my subscribers could donate the cost for coffee to this Kanamaluka Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre. This is a not-for-profit organisation. It's a registered charity. It's in Tasmania. They're doing wonderful work. And I know this firsthand because that is my nephew. That is my nephew, Duncan, and his partner, Jess, and their family have devoted their home, their lives. Some of these little animals need to be fed around the clock, like at 2 hourly intervals. Somebody's got to get up in the middle of the night and feed those babies. They make sure that they're safe, they make sure that they're being fed properly, and they have veterinary help if they need it, and then they can release them back into the Tasmanian wilderness, into the Tasmanian bush, where they belong. They belong, and we need them to belong in the bush. So if you could donate a cup of coffee per month, I would be eternally grateful if you could set that up as a monthly donation. 1 cup of coffee, $5. Is that what a coffee costs? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's about what an Australian coffee costs. Look, I know not everybody's in a position to donate, but if you can, and if you did, I would be so, so grateful. Duncan and his family are doing it a bit tough. You know, sometimes they have to eat into their own savings. They get no government funding. Volunteers and donations is how this place is run. So if you could, I would appreciate it. If you can't, thank you for listening anyway. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to finish this card. I'm finished with my little soapbox session, but I'm going to just glue this straight onto here. So we'll just use some liquid glue. And I spoke to Duncan yesterday, I think it was yesterday, and he just said, I can't believe that you, meaning me, that you have like chosen to sort of promote this. Why wouldn't I? A, they're family. B, they're doing such a fantastic job. So yeah, why wouldn't I indeed? Okay, now they're going up on dimensionals. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I do sometimes. Hang on. Especially if it's the dimensionals have got to go onto this lumpy, bumpy, embossed surface. Now I can't get them off my fingers. You know, I see the other demonstrators do this, and yeah, you know, they do it with such ease. I struggle. Okay, I'm going to do the trick where I push them, peel them off, and then I'm going to show you what I do sometimes, okay? Now, you don't want this falling off. during mail. It probably wouldn't, but let's just make sure, hey? So all I do is just pop a tiny little dot of glue. Now I'm going to show you, look. A tiny little dot of glue. Just in the middle of each dimensional. And that is just going to grab the uneven surface of this, this beautifully embossed piece. So beautiful, and I'm so sorry that that's going. Now, normally I put these things just a touch above center, just because that's what I was taught, that it's more pleasing to the eye. And there we go. Look at him. He's looking quite pleased with himself, don't you think? And so am I. So I'm going to pull these out again. This one here, I want to show you. I'm going to stamp it really, really quickly. What did I do with it? I wanted to stamp that on a really quick piece of paper. Oh, gosh. Is that it? No. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. Oh, gosh. I don't know what I've done with it. I'll just get another one. Hang on. Hang on. I just wanted to show you how I coloured it with the pencil on a white. Okay? So, oh, here it is. It's right here. Doesn't matter. I'll do it anyway. I'll do it on this piece. Now, I'm using the Memento black. I'm just doing this as an exercise. So if he doesn't all fit on, you can cut this out after you've done it. So let's just make sure that ink grabs. I'm not rocking that, I'm just giving it a bit of pressure. And voila. So what I did was I used the basic grey pencil, okay? The basic grey watercolour pencil. And we're talking about this guy here, okay? Talking about this guy here. Now, I'm going to show you what I did. This is like a little bonus tip. So I'm just taking my watercolour pencil, and this is just basic white. This is not watercolour paper, okay? So I can't be scrubbing away at this with water because it just pills up. So I'm just colouring down. I'm just doing very, very lightly. Just colouring down here. I hope that's in the frame. And I'll pick it up and I'll show you. Now, I know a lot of people comment and they say they really enjoy watching people colouring. So this has got to be a treat. So, because I've done it a couple of times now. Okay, so I've just done him. Oops, forgot him. Forgot there. I want a bit of shadow in there. Bit of shadow down there. A little bit of shadow there. Now I'm going to hold that up. I'm going to show you that. It's very, very light. So now I'm going to take the colour lifter. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying, hang on, that's for blends. Yeah, it is for blends, but it will actually blend this watercolour pencil. Now, I hope there's enough in here to show you that. Now, I'm going to move that out of the way and I'm going to show you, okay? And I will hold it up, okay? So again, I'm starting from away from it and I'm just doing little circular motions. Now, I'll hold this up so that you can compare it to where it hasn't been blended to where it has been blended. Now, if you see here, and I will stand up because I really want you to see this. So I've blended down here and just around there. There has not been blended. There has not been blended. Now, if I can do this on my hand, I will show you how it blends it beautifully. And there you go. I've just got to do around here now. And his little tail. So it gives it a really nice soft look, and I hope you got all of that. And then I just coloured his hat and his feet and his beak in, oh, and the balloon, I beg your pardon, and the balloon with blends. Okay, so they're quite bright, and yeah, so I'm going to put all the cards out now. I'm going to show you the comparison. I'm going to tell you what the technique was, and you can have a look. So this one is watercolour pencil here on the duck, basic grey, and then blended with your colour lifter. Now, because this is alcohol, it doesn't pill up. It just blends it quite quickly and you can get on with it. Then I coloured these with blends. Remember, I used a mask to mask off the hill and the sky, and I blended that with our blending brushes. Okay. Then there was this guy, these two guys, and I just coloured straight white watercolour pencil onto the pebbled path, and the same with the watercolour pencil in the pumpkin pie. And it just gives you a softer pencil, almost like a pastels, you know, oil pastels. It kind of looks like that. So that's card number 2. Card number 3 we did with the grey granite, the light grey granite blend. We basically just did around the outside and then used the colour lifter to blend that away. And this we did 3 shades of blue and blended those in. So yeah, 3 techniques to create white, because white is really hard to colour for a lot of people. So I hope that's helped you out. If you've enjoyed this and it has helped you out, of course I would love a thumbs up, subscribe and share this if you'd like. But more importantly, if you think that this free tutorial is worth anything, then the cost of a cup of coffee, send it to Kanamaluka and help the Australian wildlife in Tasmania. Thanks so much. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you all on Thursday night. I know it's been a big one tonight, but we did cover a lot of things. So, yep, look, if you have any questions, if you'd like the templates, email me, okay? I'm always available. Thanks so much. Have a great week. I'll see you on Thursday night. Bye.